The story begins with a child named Matt Murdock, who lived in the Hell's Kitchen area of New York. The boys in his neighborhood often troubled him. Matt's father, Jack, used to be a well-known boxer in his time, but after Matt was born, he left boxing and stayed intoxicated with alcohol all day long. Despite the alcohol addiction, Jack worked extremely hard to collect money for his son's education because he wanted to give Matt a good future. But suddenly one day, Matt found out that his father worked for goons. Matt considered his father, Jack, to be his hero. But when he saw his father threatening innocent people, his heart broke badly and he ran away from there at that very moment. Then suddenly, he was about to collide with a truck, but in an attempt to save him at the last moment, the driver turned the truck. But because of this, boxes filled with dangerous chemicals present on the road suddenly exploded, and a lot of chemical fell on Matt. Because of this terrible chemical, Matt lost the sight of his eyes. But such a miraculous change happened in the cells of his body that the strength of his remaining senses increased significantly. Now he was able to feel his entire surrounding environment without seeing anything. When Matt came out of the coma, he was very nervous because he did not know how to handle his new powers. In a short time, Jack came into his room and gave him the bad news that his eyesight was gone. But Matt said that he already knew all this. Then Matt himself gave courage to his father because Jack was feeling a lot of regret that such a terrible accident happened to his son because of him. Then, for the next few months, Matt slowly learned to live without eyes through hard work. Seeing his liveliness, his father also got excited and started boxing again. He trained hard for many months and made a comeback in the boxing ring after so many years. Inspired by his father's hard work, Matt also started practicing boxing. Soon he realized that his power of hearing and touching was increasing rapidly. Now he had become so expert that this entire city became like his playground. With the help of his powers, Matt's fear had completely disappeared. Now even the naughty children of his neighborhood could not harm him. If someone troubled him, Matt would break their bones. Anyway, one night when Jack returned from the ring, a man named Fallon came to meet him. Fallon was the boss of the same gang for which Jack worked. Fallon wanted Jack to return to work, but Jack flatly refused this. Then Fallon revealed, "What do you think? You have become a very big boxer? All the people you have defeated so far, they all work for me. And I told them to let you win. Understand? And today you will have to lose because I have placed a bet on your losing." To save his and his son's life, Jack prepared to lose the fight intentionally. But as soon as he fell on the ground, he heard the voice of his son who was giving him the courage to win. Then Jack gathered all his strength and made a deadly attack on his opponent. Seeing this, Fallon became furious, and now he was not going to agree so easily. That same night, his goons caught Jack and beat him very brutally. By the time Matt reached there, his father had died. Now, Matt had become completely alone, and at that very moment, he resolved that he would help needy people and would teach a lesson to the people who committed atrocities on them. 20 years after this, Matt had now become an excellent lawyer. Due to his powers, he would catch people's lies at that very moment. He tried every possible effort to get justice for his clients, but sometimes criminals bought the law with money. At such times, Matt would take the law into his own hands and set out on a mission wearing his Daredevil costume at night. Now we see a criminal named Jose Casa, who had committed a heinous crime with a woman a few months ago. But today he had taken bail by shutting the judge's mouth with money. Now he went to celebrate in a bar. So suddenly, Daredevil reached there to settle his account. Seeing him, Jose's goons showered indiscriminate bullets on Daredevil, but not even a single bullet could touch his hair, and he made all the goons bite the dust. With his amazing power of hearing, he would protect himself by hearing the sound of the bullet from afar. Finally, after beating all the gang members, Jose immediately ran away from there and went and hid at the train station with a revolver in his hand. But Daredevil secretly caught him from behind, when suddenly a train came and Daredevil started screaming badly in pain. Actually, his ears could hear the smallest sound, and he used to have a lot of trouble and so much noise. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Jose took out his gun and became ready to take Daredevil's life. But before he could fire, Daredevil pushed him and threw him on the tracks. Within a few moments, a train came fast and went through him, tearing him apart. Later, the police found Jose's body cut into 2 parts. In a few moments, a man named Ben reached there. He had come here to collect evidence so that he could prove that Daredevil's hand was behind this. On the other hand, when Matt reached home, he took off his suit and started bathing. Then, suddenly he heard the sound of a woman being shot. Therefore, Matt kept his ears submerged in water all night. Then the next morning, when Matt met his partner Foggy, it was found that news was published in a newspaper that Daredevil's hand was behind Jose's death. Matt said that all these are fabricated stories, and in reality, there is no superhero named Daredevil. But Foggy was fully confident that Daredevil is real, and one day he will definitely meet him. Anyway, then Foggy told Matt that they should fight the cases of more people, because so far they have only fought cases of innocent people, and these people do not have much money to give. But Matt flatly refused to work for criminals, and said that doing so would not be right at all. Then suddenly, Matt heard the sound of some girl coming. At that very moment, a girl named Elektra came into the restaurant, and Matt became a fan of her fragrance in a single moment. He thought of going and talking to Elektra, but even after talking for a while, Elektra did not tell him her name. Elektra took her coffee and left from there, so he decided to follow Elektra. As soon as Elektra realized that someone was following her, she attacked Matt. But despite being blind, Matt protected himself very easily. The children playing in the field soon gathered to see their scuffle. Finally, Matt defeated Elektra, but at that very moment, Elektra kicked his foot and pushed him onto a bench. In the end, being happy with her victory, she told Matt her name. At that very moment, her bodyguards came, so Elektra said goodbye to him and started leaving. Then Matt found out that Elektra is the daughter of a billionaire businessman named Nicholas Nachios. Before leaving, Elektra said that she would meet him again soon. On the other hand, we see that Nicholas had gone to meet Kingpin. Nicholas wanted to break his partnership with Kingpin because he could not put his family's life in danger because of everyday threats. That's why he asked Wilson Fisk to buy his share of the business. Here, when Matt reached his office, he found out that a new client had come to meet him. This man's name was Steve, who was accused of the murder of a girl named Lisa. But talking to Steve for just a few minutes, Matt realized that he was innocent, and he agreed to fight Steve's case. Now they needed evidence to reach Lisa's real murderer. Therefore, Matt himself decided to secretly investigate Lisa's house. When Matt moved his hand on her carpet and smelled the blood present there, he understood that Lisa was dragged outside after being shot inside the house. After this, touching Lisa's table, Matt felt some letters and numbers. He asked Foggy to write these letters in his notebook. After several weeks of this, when Steve appeared in court, Matt presented all the evidence collected to save him. After the appearance, Elektra came to meet him. Then Matt was very happy. Matt took her with him to the roof of an old building from where he used to see the whole city in childhood. At that very moment, Matt said that it is going to rain soon. He could hear every drop of rain falling down, and as soon as the rain fell on his eyes, Matt felt as if he was able to see again. At the same time, it started raining, and Matt realized as if he could see Elektra. Matt's heart fell for Elektra's beauty, and he decided to kiss Elektra. But then suddenly he heard the sounds of a fight going on nearby. Now Matt said goodbye to Elektra, even without wanting to, and set out to perform his duty. Soon he found the gangster, and after beating him badly, asked him to stay away from the Hell's Kitchen area. But then that goon told him that this area has come under the possession of Kingpin. Then suddenly Daredevil saw that the goon's son was also present there, and he was crying out of fear seeing him. This made Matt very sad, and the next morning he reached straight to the church. There he met Father Lantom. Father told him that he could come to the church whenever he wanted for peace of mind. Anyway, later when Matt reached his office, an invitation to a party had come. He had received a +1 invitation, so he could take someone with him as a date too. When Foggy heard this, he immediately became ready to go with Matt. When both reached the hotel, journalist Ben Urich gave Matt his card and said that he wanted to talk to him on a very important issue. At that very moment, Foggy's eyes fell on Wilson Fisk, so he immediately went and told Wilson about himself and his law company. Tonight, he wanted to meet all the big people and bind his clients. But at that very moment, Matt said that he could not fight a case for Wilson because their company only fights cases for innocent people. Saying this, he set out to find Elektra in the hall. Within a few moments, he reached her through Elektra's fragrance. Matt apologized to Elektra for that night because he had suddenly left her and gone. After which, both of them started dancing together. Then we see that a dangerous goon named Bullseye had reached New York, and he took the life of an innocent man and snatched his motorcycle. On the other hand, Nicholas was smiling seeing his daughter dancing with Matt. Within a few moments, Wilson secretly came there, and after ending the partnership with him, left a rose flower in his pocket. At that very moment, Nicholas realized that his life was in danger. Therefore, he immediately started leaving from there with his bodyguards. As soon as Elektra saw her father leaving, she understood that something was wrong, and she reached to talk to him. But then Nicholas asked Elektra also to go back home with the bodyguards. Elektra was not understanding anything, but still she said goodbye to Matt and left sitting in her limousine. Here Matt was worried about Elektra's safety. Therefore he quickly wore his costume and set out after her. Soon he saw that a man sitting on a motorcycle was chasing Elektra fast. Matt understood that Elektra and Nicholas's lives were in danger. Here, Bullseye killed Elektra's driver and bodyguard by throwing 2 blades out of his belt, and suddenly Elektra's limousine collided with a van. Now Bullseye was ready to attack Elektra, but at the last moment, Daredevil came to save her. Bullseye threw a sharp blade toward Daredevil, but Daredevil moved away at the last moment. Seeing this, Bullseye was also taken aback, because until today his aim had never failed. Now Bullseye decided to eliminate this obstacle coming in his way. Therefore he set out to crush Matt with his bike, but then Matt threw him away by hitting a powerful kick on his head. The truth was that Kingpin had sent Bullseye to finish Nicholas. Then Bullseye snatched Daredevil's stick and threw it straight toward Nicholas. This time his aim hit straight on target. Here, Elektra thought that the person attacking her father was Daredevil. She showered indiscriminate bullets on Daredevil at that very moment. When her bullets finished, she sat near her father and started crying bitterly because now it was too late to take him to the hospital as well. On the other hand, when Matt returned home after Nicholas's death, he was very angry because he was hating himself because he liked a girl and failed even in protecting her. Anyway, the next day Bullseye killed a security guard of Kingpin and entered his office. Kingpin praised him a lot because Bullseye had not only killed Nicholas but also put the blame for his death on Daredevil. But Bullseye was still not going to sit peacefully, because for the first time in his life, his aim had missed. Now, to complete his revenge, Bullseye decided to finish Daredevil. On the other hand, Elektra held a funeral for her father where Wilson Fisk also attended. Anyway, when Elektra was going toward her car, Matt came to meet her. At that very moment, it started raining, and for a while Matt was able to see Elektra once again. Before leaving, Elektra said that she would take revenge for her father's death, but Matt said that nothing would be right with this, but Elektra ignored his words and left from there. At that very moment, Ben came to Matt and said that he has secret information useful in Steve's case. Ben revealed that Lisa used to be his informant, but soon she fell in love with a goon of Kingpin. Lisa had told Ben about a man named Officer Mackenzie, who had now given testimony against Steve in court. After obtaining this information, Matt forcibly entered Officer Mackenzie's car that night and tied him with handcuffs. After this, Matt drove the car very fast and made many accidents so that Mackenzie would spill everything out of fear. Finally, Mackenzie revealed that he was giving false testimony in court, under pressure from Kingpin. Mackenzie said that whoever does not listen to Kingpin, his condition becomes just like Nicholas. Kingpin is so dangerous that he does not even leave the families of his enemies. Therefore, now the next turn to die was Elektra's. On the other hand, Foggy was sitting in the office all night, investigating to reach Lisa's murderer. Then, with the help of his secretary Karen, he realized that the clue Matt found in Lisa's house was actually inverted. Soon he realized that WOW meant Wesley Owen Welch. This man worked for Wilson Fisk only. Anyway, the next morning Ben met his friend in the morgue who showed him the stick with which Nicholas died. As soon as they turned the button at the bottom of the stick, a metal rod came out of it, and it became a stick of a blind person. At the same time, Foggy called Ben and said that a very big clue has come to his hand in Lisa's case. Then at night, Matt was preparing to finish Bullseye. On the other hand, Elektra was increasing her fighting skills by training so that she could take revenge for her father's death. In a short while, when Daredevil set out to find Bullseye, suddenly, Elektra made a powerful attack on him with swords. Daredevil, while protecting himself, explained to Elektra that he did not kill Nicholas, but Elektra did not listen to him at all. In this scuffle, Matt kept avoiding all of Elektra's attacks, and he himself did not make any strike on Elektra. He wanted to explain this to Elektra that he is not her enemy. But Elektra still did not stop, and in the end, she stabbed a sword into Daredevil's chest. Before leaving, she said that she wants to look into the eyes of her father's murderer. Therefore, she removed Daredevil's mask. Seeing her boyfriend in front of her, the ground slipped from under Elektra's feet. She realized that truly Matt did not take her father's life. After some time, Bullseye also came there. So Matt told Elektra to hide quickly. But Elektra did not back down and threw a knife fast toward him to take revenge from Bullseye. But Bullseye caught that knife and aimed back at Elektra, which went straight into her palm. Elektra removed the knife from her hand with great difficulty and, forgetting her pain, set out to face Bullseye. But Bullseye was a seasoned player who had not lost a single fight until today. He threw Elektra away in a few moments and attacked with a playing card, causing blood to flow from her neck. When Matt saw his girlfriend in trouble, he tried to help her, but his condition was so fragile that he could not even stand. On the other hand, Bullseye finally lifted Elektra by the neck and stabbed a sword in her stomach so that no hope of her remaining alive was left. Then suddenly a police helicopter reached the sky and they told Bullseye to sit on his knees. But Bullseye fled from there, throwing a rose on Elektra. Here, Elektra had been very badly injured. But she somehow crawled and went to Matt because she wanted to take her last breaths in Matt's arms. Within a few moments, Matt stopped hearing Elektra's heartbeats, and he understood that Elektra was no longer in this world. At that very moment, he heard the sound of the police coming, so he left Elektra's body there and disappeared. Here, Detective Nick found Elektra's body. On the other hand, Matt hid in the church to escape from the police. There, Father Lantom applied ointment and bandages to his wounds. In a short time, Bullseye also entered the church, and he announced his arrival by throwing a knife straight near the father. At the same time, Daredevil told the father to run from the back door and inform the police. After this, the war between Daredevil and Bullseye began. Bullseye made various attacks on him, but Daredevil responded with his special stick. He was successful in injuring Bullseye, and as soon as he tried to run, Daredevil ran after him. Now both were hanging from the pillars of the church, when suddenly a swarm of bats attacked them, and Daredevil fell down from the pillar. But before falling on the ground, he pulled himself back up with his rope, and once again started fighting with Bullseye. In this terrific match, Bullseye realized that he was going to lose. Therefore, he tried to run away, but Matt was still not leaving his pursuit. Then Bullseye threw all his blades toward him at once, but Daredevil caught them in the air and attacked Bullseye back. Soon Bullseye's blades hit his forehead and he fell out of the church window. Now he collected broken glass pieces and aimed at Daredevil, but he escaped safely this time too. Finally, Bullseye thought of a trick and started ringing the church bell loudly so that Daredevil would be troubled by its noise. His trick was successful because now Daredevil was suffering badly, covering his ears. Here the police had also entered the church. Finally, now Bullseye made a brutal attack on Daredevil after weakening him. He was intentionally creating more noise. In the middle of the talk, Bullseye revealed that Wilson Fisk is the real Kingpin. Whenever Wilson's goons took someone's life, they left a rose flower on him as a mark. Hearing this, Matt realized that many years ago his father was also killed by Wilson's men. Only, now Bullseye was about to finish his work by stabbing a knife in his heart when Daredevil stopped him at the last moment. Then he heard the sound of a bullet fired by the police, so he put Bullseye's hand forward, due to which that bullet hit Bullseye. After being injured, Bullseye knelt before Daredevil. Then Daredevil picked him up and threw him out of the window, and he fell straight onto the glass of Ben's car. After this, Daredevil set out to finish Kingpin's story, but as soon as he reached Wilson's building, he saw that Wilson was already waiting for him. It was not so easy to face Wilson. Wilson was very strong, and he picked him up and threw him against the glass door, the noise of whose breaking caused a lot of pain to Daredevil. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Wilson slammed him against the wall. Finally, he took out a rose from his desk and then removed Daredevil's mask. When Matt's real face came before him, he was completely surprised. He could not believe that a blind lawyer is New York's most powerful superhero. Anyway, now Wilson was about to separate his head from the torso when at the last moment Matt turned on the sprinklers installed to extinguish fire. On falling water, now Matt was able to see his enemy, and only then he made a terrific attack on Wilson. At the same time, he heard the sound of police cars coming nearby, and he heard from the car radio that Ben had told Detective Nick about Kingpin's reality. Now Wilson will be arrested and he will spend his whole life in jail. Finally, Matt left him there and returned to his home. Then the next day, Steve was acquitted from the case because Foggy had proved in court that Wesley had taken Lisa's life at the behest of Wilson. In the afternoon, Matt went to meet Father Lantom in the church. There he met Ben. Ben told him that he is writing the next story whose name will be Blind Law, Andha Kanun. In this story, he was going to expose the reality of Daredevil before the whole world. But in the end, when Ben completed his article, he decided to delete everything, because if Daredevil is not on these streets, who knows what criminals will start doing. See you in the next video.